All right, so here's our schedule this morning. We're going to start with narrative, beginning with the calibration. Around 11 o'clock, I'm going to stop us whether we're done with the scoring or not in order to do a reflection time. It's the same paper that we did the last time that we met, where we're looking at what do we want to retain from narrative, what do we want to refine from narrative, and what do we want to replace, so that we can keep this in the SRSD notebook so that next year when we start up, we'll kind of refresh our memory. On this sheet, you're also going to keep track of which students do not meet criteria. We're looking for 12 points. So any student who doesn't make 12 points, we're going to mark down in here. So again, this is kind of for your use.
Your name will go down on a permanent record.
Oh, honey, I can give you 10 already.
Sharpie.
I'll give you 10 y'all need to watch out for.
And then the last part is how we're going to provide intervention for these students so that we can hopefully bring them up before April or May. April, preferably. That sheet can also be shared with your special educator and or interventionist, coaches, in order to see how we can help support that system. In the afternoon, we're going to, lunch is at 11:30. Hour for lunch, we're going to come back and do the calibration of opinion. And then at the end of the day, whether we're done or not, I'm going to stop you at 3 o'clock and give you guys time to either break into 2 small groups or we can do it collaboratively. Each team has kind of decided differently how they want that to look, so it's up to you guys. And brainstorm ideas. What are some ways that we look at opinion? What are some effective techniques that you've done from peer conferencing, goal setting, some of those other parts of SRSD that might not have been included yet. So as always, if you need to talk to your neighbor, just do it quietly so that we can try to accomplish as much as possible since we have so many papers to get through. And having that positive growth mindset. If any students don't make it, we can reassess them. So just like before, we will not be using the post-assessment as a teaching tool. You may not use it as a teaching tool because any students that need to reassess, you can use that same assessment in April. Okay? When we get to the pre-opinion, we're going to use the pre-opinion as a teaching tool. Okay? And focus on the students. So this morning, which question will be guiding our work this morning? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Students to learn.
What
do you learn? They have learned it.
3.
We're going to focus on 3 and a little bit of,
what do we want students, I guess we know.
since we're reflecting back, it's going to be what did we do and how will we know if they've learned it. So the scales are going to guide us to whether or not they've learned it yet. So again, we're looking for proficiency at 12 points or more. If you want to make like a asterisk or something for the students that just make it to 12, what that tells us is they're right on the border. There are kiddos that need a little bit more support possibly, so they've made it, but we just want to keep an eye on them as we go into the next genre. Your scoring sheet's going to go into your coach no later than Tuesday. If you hopefully, so far every grade level has been able to get their narratives done prior to, we'll get it there, because what I'll do is I'll take your narratives in the afternoon.
Okay.
If we don't get them finished, then I'll continue to score the narratives because those take longer than the opinion. And you guys will just keep going with the opinions in the afternoon. So don't worry about it, we'll get it. If you have any students that have been absent, just make sure that we get them caught up within the next week or so and talk to your coaches about that. My goal is I'm going to be coming around on Friday and collecting all of the sheets that are there so that I can start entering data because that takes forever. So as a reminder, this is what we have been teaching. I like pulling the Common Core standards as opposed to CAP, since CAP breaks it down so much. I just want you to get that big general picture and hopefully you'll see the connection back to the scales. So write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences or events using effective technique, descriptive details, and clear event sequences. Orient the reader by establishing a situation and introducing a narrator and or characters. Organize an event sequence that unfolds naturally. Use dialogue and description to develop experiences and events or show the responses of characters to situations. Use a variety of transitional words and phrases to manage the sequence of events. Use concrete words and phrases and sensory details to convey experiences and events precisely. Provide a conclusion that follows from the narrated experience or events.
Create this all on your own.
Sorry,
Don't be
sorry.
a smart aleck. You cracked me up. Okay, so you should have the scales in front of you. You should say fourth grade narrative, they're pink.
Oh, glasses.
This is why I am the way I am.
All right.
I heard you, I'm still in the room, what'd you say? You are.
All right, the scoring guide. Just as a reminder, there are 2 documents that you can use if you so choose. One of them is at the front of your SRSD binder, right after the blank narrative scale. There's a scoring guide that does point by point as to what you're looking for, and then there's the detailed scale that Heidi created. And again, the detailed scale are just ideas, suggestions that could be used. They are not mandatory items, but just a way of knowing that there could be those points in there when the teachers created these or helped put them together. We just wanted to make sure there were possibilities of all these points being examined. All right, ready? I gotta read the prompt first. What's the prompt?
All right, can
Cheetahs,
we?
cheetahs are making a
It's
comeback.
She does.
Write an imaginative narrative of cheetahs trying to protect their land. Be sure to include information from your sources.
Okay?
I can make a quick copy.
All right. The tall grass and plant life tickling 16 legs, the wind whistling through the trees, the millions of farm animals taunting their noses, not sure if that's the right word, the red barn waiting to be threatened, and meaty taste from their last victims have made the cheetah family tired. It should be an R. Sorry, that's my fault.
All right, that makes me angry, that is so descriptive, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that Brody or Jessica?
That is, I don't know. I have to pull the,
No, you're good.
I think it's Brody.
I think it's Brody.
Mandy, the mother cheetah, announced to everyone the next morning, "It is the first day of January in Nambia. It was freezing last year, and that's when the farmers took over our land. So today, on this bright, sunny, warm, yet windy day, we are going to get our land back. Most cheetahs live in Africa. Mandy is loving. Carlos is smart." "Mom, can't we just sleep in a little bit more?" Sammy asked. "No, Sammy, I'm hungry," Joe yelled. The father screamed at the top of his lungs, "Sammy, you may climb on my back and go back to sleep. I'll carry you. Joe, let's go to the barn and take our land back to try to save our species. You know, we just might be the last of your kind because all the farmers are trying to kill us to make sure we don't eat their animals." About 10 minutes later, the cheetah family was finally ready for some food. All of them went on the count of 3. They bolted over the fence and tore down as many animals as they could. They had to quickly eat their meal because the bigger cats come straight there once they smell the meat. The farmer came out 20 seconds later to stop the family from getting all the animals. He shot his rifle and sadly hit Sammy. There was no time for a funeral. I love how I spelled that. Funeral, they just all had to run. The farmer then ate every last bit of Sam. They had a feast in honor of Sammy for his huge sacrifice to save the rest of the family. Mandy felt sad that she had lost her cub. Joe was happy that he had finally gotten to eat. And Clyde feels like he needs to attack the farmer, but that's another story. All right. So strong connection to task. Did they use the text
Yes.
Yes.
inside the text, and you're keeping track of the points? Okay, so yes, 1 point. Characters' actions, thoughts, and feelings shown, not told. So this can be through, this will occur through the word choice. It's also going to be where you hear that voice. Sometimes it's kind of an invisible voice. I don't know how else to say it, but just the way, the phrasing that they use, the way that they say things, is where the character's thoughts and feelings can be shown. So it can be in tags, like when they said Sammy asked, Joe yelled.
But it's also the meaty taste from their last victim.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Yes,
just-
but
So
it's
it
also
can-
that first paragraph.
Absolutely,
Where
so
they're
it's the
describing and
com-
explaining everything.
Well, that part is gonna be your setting that he's trying to set up for
Okay.
you right
Right,
up
but
there.
it's still.
But it's, yeah. it's
But
still
can
showing
you
it's
visualize Sammy? And are there words in here that we can just kind of determine? Because what you're trying to find is, at the 5th grade level, they've labeled it as 3 or more per point. Not that, we're probably looking for 2 to 3 at least. At 4th grade then would be my. Meaty taste from their last victim, so I agree, that part is definitely going towards the.
We just might be the last of our kind, because I think it's very present.
Okay, is it worthy of 2?
Yes.
Okay. Purposeful dialogue, 3 or more,
Yes.
yes. When? The next morning, the first day of January. Yep. Today on this bright, sunny, warm, yet windy day. Okay, so 1 point there. Where? Nambia, whistling through the trees,
Yeah.
millions of
Farm.
farm animals.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 point there. What does the character
Why
want to
would-
do?
Wait a second.
It should be out of 2.
Oops, sorry, 2 points. Is it 1 or a
See, I
2?
would debate a 1 or a 2, because with the connection to the text, I've been telling the kids to explain to me why they're in Nambia, because that's where cheetahs live. But
The top part though, the tall grass
The
and
tall
plant
grass,
life,
I feel like
tickling
he's
16
explaining,
legs.
yeah.
I love the 16 legs.
okay, I'm just hard on them, so.
Well, I like the farm animals, the red barn, Nambia, it has.
Well, and that would be the only part that might possibly consider bringing it down. Does that explain
It
Africa?
says most cheetahs live in Africa.
I know, but the red bar, that part kind of makes it sound like it's a,
But does the article explain it?
no, it doesn't.
So where are they gonna get it from if they've never seen Africa or don't know what Africa
I know,
is?
so that's what I'm saying.
So they can.
Well, yeah,
We do
technically-
live in
Africa.
Africa, all
Africa.
Well, supposedly, but, you know.
So is there enough other pieces there that lets you know that it, I think yes.
I think
think
it,
yes.
the grasslands and stuff, and that's,
Yeah.
they live in open areas of land like the African grasslands and savannas.
Yeah, so tall
I think
grass
they're
and plant life
explaining,
right
I
off the
think he's
bat.
explaining that, that's a grassland and savanna.
All right, 2 points. What does the character want to do? What can you figure out what overall the story is about?
We are going to get our land back.
Yep.
And it's just, it gets a little odd at the end, but it's like, but that next paragraph, the father screamed at the top of his lungs, the farmers are trying to kill us to make sure we don't eat their animals. So I think it goes a step further than just saying we're gonna go get our land back.
Yep.
Details it more.
Yeah, and sometimes, typically, you're gonna have it right off the bat within those first few paragraphs. But the events can change and grow more. All right, organized event sequence unfolds naturally, more shown than told. Is it organized? And it's
Yes.
definitely shown. Is it organized in a fashion that makes sense, sequential?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Denise. Pacing is varied. What you're looking for here, is it the buildup of a story? Do you see the problem building up and coming to a conclusion at the end? Yes. Yep. My characters response to the situation is ongoing. It's not just a list of events.
Yeah, 'cause
Mandy
he
felt sad.
Joe was happy.
Joe.
Life
And some of
feels
it,
this.
you know, at the 4th grade level, for 4th grade, I think this is excellent. Some of it feels a little